time for some tea with T on this Talk Therapy Tuesday. I'm Tanya McLean Nicholas, licensed marriage family therapist and owner of Renewed Hope Counseling. I'm changing up the scene today, as you can see, as I'm taking a little me time on the beautiful island of Hawaii in the city of Kona. Me time is so important. We talk about that all the time. And although getting away to a beautiful tropical island is not always possible, having some sort of alone time to regroup or some time in general to regroup and refresh is absolutely necessary. But let's be honest, finding the balance between me time or self-care, if you want to call it, and handling our personal responsibilities is extremely challenging. So today's topic is the self-care dilemma. How do you find the balance between fulfilling your daily responsibilities and taking time for yourself? So go ahead, grab your tea or your coffee, whichever you prefer, and let's dig in. Before I decided to take some intentional time away, all I could think about was the 1.5 million things that I needed to do. I thought about clients, I thought about my own personal and professional errands, maybe completing activities for my family. And I literally said to myself, there is no way I can get away. I have too much to do. And maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you can't imagine finding time between sports and activities for your kids, maybe some household chores, paying bills, and financial obligations. Maybe you're starting a summer home project. You have work obligations. All this talk we continue to have about the necessity of self-care and taking time for yourself. And at the core, I truly believe people really want to do it. But the reality is it's hard to even conceptualize a break when you have so many responsibilities that fall on your shoulders. So what I say to that is, there is no perfect answer in solving the dilemma in balancing self-care and responsibilities. But I will say something. Balance sometimes looks like making the right decision in the moment and realizing that decision may change from day to day depending upon circumstances. You may tell yourself, I'm finally going to take a day off, maybe go to the spa, the beach, or take a walk through the park. But as your day begins, that could change based on important or urgent circumstances. At that moment, you're at a crossroads to either change your decision or even your mindset. You'll either set a boundary to stay the course of your plans, your original plans for the day, or you'll cancel your time, your me time, your alone time, your self-care time, and you'll do something different. Whichever way you choose, I want you just to remember 3 things. The first thing is, take the time to free up your mind about what self-care would look like for you. That's one of the hardest things sometimes to understand. So many people have so many opinions about what self-care actually looks like for you. And that may not necessarily be what works for you. Some people are rejuvenated and revived by time away, and others by spending time with family or friends. Whatever it is, allow yourself to define what self-care will look like for you, and do not allow others to define that for you. Next, give yourself permission. I always say this in probably many of my TNTs. Give yourself permission to make the right decision for you in the moment. I say that because only you know in the moment what is best for you. You have the details surrounding your circumstances. You have the key facts to consider in making those decisions, and neither I nor someone else can tell you if it's right or wrong, or when is the right time. So let yourself have the permission that, hey, in the moment when I go through something, I have the ability to make the decision in the moment, and that decision could very well change, and that's okay, depending upon the different circumstances. Next, give yourself the permission to make and accept the fact that when you do make that decision, it may be the wrong decision. So once making that decision and you later find out, that probably wasn't the right choice for me, or I should have chose differently, leave the shame and the guilt at the door. Life is about growing and becoming our best selves, and that entails experiencing our losses and our wins. If you didn't make the right decision in the moment to set a boundary or put people, places, or things on hold, put yourself first, maybe even, it's okay. You're not a failure, and you're now more aware of your needs than you were prior. Which brings me to my last and final point, the need for self awareness or mindfulness. Being reflective and making sure you're in tune with your emotions and your needs will help you to make the right decision in the moment. When you're more in tune with your feelings, more in tune with how you physically feel, when you're at your best or when you physically feel when you're not at your best, if you're in tune to that, that is so important because the goal is to become more in sync with that internal thought thermometer that tells you when it's time to rest, when it's time to slow down, when you're on overload, or when it's time to disconnect. Self awareness and reflections helps you to know yourself better and allows your voice to become louder than the outside voices that sometimes get in our head and they affect the way we make our decisions or our choices or even doing what is best for us in the moment. It's so easy for me to continue my discussions about self care and finding balance and taking time alone. I think we all agree it's important and it's necessary for physical and mental health. The implementing part is the part that's not easy, not even for me, who continues to talk about it. But one thing you should keep in mind is that every day you open your eyes and start the day, you have a new opportunity to do differently than you did the day prior. New days are new beginnings, and they are our friend. Well, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed your tea with tea on this Talk Therapy Tuesday in the beautiful environment of Hawaii. I'm Tanya McLean Nicholas. Enjoy your day.